Taylor Fritz just had the best year of his career, and he came so close. Could he be the one to finally end the American men's Grand Slam drought? It's hard to believe, but Andy Roddick was the last to do it, over 20 years ago. No one saw that drought coming, especially after the dominance of American tennis in the 90s. But Fritz has been steadily building momentum, finishing in the top 10 for 3 straight seasons and holding the title of America's #1. So, is Taylor Fritz the man to end the streak? Or was his deep US Open run just a flash of luck? Are there distractions holding him back? Or will he finally achieve what he's been working toward for so long?
Who's most likely to walk a runway during New York Fashion Week?
1 hour later.
But maybe his priorities have changed. Or perhaps he's embraced his superstardom and is destined for more.
How do people call you the golden key?
Did you know Taylor Fritz comes from serious tennis royalty? His mum, Kathy May, was a top 10 WTA player. His dad, Guy, played professionally too, and even won US Olympic Development Coach of the Year. And it doesn't stop there. His uncle Harry played in the longest Davis Cup match ever. So it's no surprise that Fritz's ground strokes are picture perfect. No weaknesses, both wings are strong, and he can turn defense into offense in a heartbeat.
Oh my goodness.
Fortunate and lucky, kind of like a bit chosen. That's where golden key comes in.
Now, let's talk about his serve. At over 130 miles per hour, Taylor's first serve is a weapon, setting up easy points or just crushing his opponents outright. That power has taken him to 4 Slam quarterfinals, twice at Wimbledon, once at the AO, and once at the US Open. And this year, he almost went all the way at the US Open. At 26, he's only getting better. Beyond the slams, his game is expanding. He's improved on clay, making deep runs in Madrid and Italy. Plus, he won Indian Wells on home soil in 2022. At 6'5", he moves well. He isn't the most natural net player, but he's getting better. But let's get to the big question. What goes wrong for Fritz in the high-pressure moments? The truth. The top 3 players right now, Djokovic, Alcaraz and Sinner, are just 1% better in almost every area. Serving, ground strokes, net play. That's it. The margins are razor thin. But here's where it gets exciting. Fritz is closing that gap. He's still learning how to play the big points, and maybe he hasn't always had that extra gear when plan A isn't working. But the more experience he gets, the more we're seeing that tide shift in his favour. And let's not forget, Taylor's expectations for himself are sky high. His wife made that clear to the whole world. She shared a message from Taylor's diary that wrote, "Nobody in the whole world is underachieving harder than you. You are so effing good, but 40 in the world. Get your effing shiz together," after his Wimbledon loss in 2021. So, what do you think? Is Fritz on the verge of making history and ending that 20-year American drought? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're rooting for him. Let's dive into the numbers. I've compared Taylor against all the top-ranked Americans currently. Looking at his serve statistics, Taylor is ahead of all his compatriots and leads all categories when it comes to service points won and service games won. Surprisingly, he comes out on top against rising young gun Ben Shelton, who has an absolute rocket of a serve. Again, this is the last 12 months where Taylor has hit a career peak, so holding serve close to 87% would be well above his averages in previous years. None of these stats are too shocking. The Americans are all solid servers. It is the return stats that showcase vast differences in their games. Tommy Paul comes out on top here. Paul is one of the elite returners in Tour and showcases that through his impressive stats. I think what is really impressive is how close Taylor is to Paul at returning, still breaking serve at 23% of games and in the high 30s for return points won. Combined with his impressive serving stats, Fritz has been overall the best American player this season, with close friend Tommy Paul only slightly behind. The statistics for Taylor look favourable, but only when comparing to the American contenders. But how has he gotten here, and how does he compare with the big 3 of tennis? That's the true measure of winning a slam.
dedicated to tennis, and to finally break into the top 100 and just had that feeling that I'm actually in the top 100 in the world, and it's amazing. You know.
Before Fritz got into the top 100, Fritz was a promising junior. He reached the quarterfinal of all 4 junior Grand Slam tournaments. He even played his good mate Tommy Paul in both junior majors, losing to him in the French but winning the US Open Junior Open. These guys were best of mates, and nothing has really changed from those days.
He would come down and he would stay in the dorms. He would come in for weeks at a time, make my room really messy, and then leave, and nothing's really changed.
After winning that title, Fritz jumped onto the main circuit and his growth was outrageous. He went from outside 500 to rank 250 by winning a number of challenger titles. Within 2 years, he was into the top 100.
Do you think I'm ready for the next level, for the ATP level? And I said, Taylor, you've won half your challengers. I think you're ready.
While Taylor's tennis game was developing rapidly, life off the court was anything but simple. At a young age, he married former pro player Raquel Pedraza, and that same year, they had a son, Jordan. Balancing professional tennis with fatherhood was no easy feat, and it pushed Taylor into adulthood faster than most. Managing the demands of the ATP Tour while raising a child forced Fritz to master time management in a way few others on the circuit had to face. Although his marriage didn't work out, Taylor remains a devoted father to his now 7-year-old son, Jordan. This dual responsibility, tennis and fatherhood, only strengthened his competitive spirit. Whether it's on the court or relaxing at home, Taylor's need to compete is undeniable. His favourite off-court pastime, dominating at FIFA. Now settled with his fiancée, influencer Morgan Riddle, Fritz has been playing the best tennis of his career. With stability in his personal life and a fierce drive to succeed, you have to wonder, are we about to witness the peak of Taylor Fritz's potential? So how does Taylor compare with the greats on tour? Does he stand a chance? His serving numbers are right up there. His first serve win percentage is as good as it gets. In terms of his overall numbers, they are very strong, slightly below Novak. Jannik is having a season. Holding 90%, that's probably as good as any server in history. Taylor has better hold percentages than both Carlos and Medvedev. This is where Taylor needs to improve. Although his numbers are very strong this season, they are still a fair bit off the top dogs. Novak and Carlos are on another world when it comes to return at over 29% break of serves. Sinner and Medvedev sit at 27% break percentages, but with Sinner's incredible serving percentages, it's no wonder he's had 2 slams this year. For me, these numbers are telling. Fritz on his way to the US Open final did not have to face these 4 guys and ended up being a fairly routine win for Jannik in the final. I think if Taylor can find more ways to stay in the return points, even if he can improve this to around 25%, he will start making semi-finals very regularly. His head-to-head against the Big Four still needs improving, having only gotten the better of Sinner once, and losing to them a combined 13 times, so he will still need to figure out how to play them when he gets there. So, is Taylor Fritz going to be the one to save US men's tennis and finally bring a Grand Slam title back to American soil? Can he be the one to break the 20-year drought and resurrect the glory of US men's tennis? His numbers this year have been impressive. Reaching a Grand Slam final is no easy feat, and consistently making quarterfinals shows real growth, consistency and maturity in his game. When you compare him to his peers, it's clear he's a class above. He's rightfully the #1 American, and it feels like he has all the weapons to make a serious impact. His serve is a massive asset, and his ground strokes are rock solid on both wings. But here's the thing, it's all going to come down to belief. Taylor needs that breakthrough win against the likes of Alcaraz, Djokovic or Sinner, even if it's in a best-of-3 format. Just one big win at a major tournament could be the catalyst he needs to take his game to the next level. And honestly, I believe he has what it takes. He has the game, the mentality, and if he can harness that belief, he could be the one to break the drought for US men's tennis. And when he does, we all know how he'll treat himself.
Yourself.
In and out. Immediately in and out.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And drop a comment below. Do you think Taylor will win a Grand Slam and end the drought for US men's tennis? Let's hear your thoughts.